We are finally doing this. It's been a long time coming with this YouTube channel. Thank you guys for sticking around even though I have not been the best, especially with posting regularly and just giving you guys content. I know I've been doing that on my Instagram and slowly on my TikTok, but my YouTube has just been dead, so it's been bugging me so much, and I'm happy that I'm finally able to get back to creating more YouTube content. I'm a whole new person now, and I was previously going to delete all of my YouTube videos, but I decided I'm gonna keep them on there because they remind me how far I have come and how far I'm going. So welcome back, guys. And if this is going to be your first episode of Life with Batali, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time I post new videos. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. I honestly can't come to terms with the fact that this is my final year of my 20s, because where did time go? Honestly, it's gone by too fast, but there's a part of me that's very excited about what the future holds. I hear all these good things about being 30 and stepping into the third floor, so I'm definitely excited for that. But I don't know if I'm ready for all of the responsibilities of being an adult and everything it comes with. That's the part that has me scared. But none the same, you can never age backwards, so we have to jump onto the wagon. So that's kind of where I am. In this video, I'll be sharing with you guys some of the things that my 20s have taught me. Oh my gosh, RIP 20s, you've been real. But it's time for me to move on to greater things, period. So I'll be sharing with you guys some of the things that I learned in my 20s. And if I had a chance to meet my younger self in her early 20s, I would give her such a big hug, because that girl was trying. She was so resilient. Oh my gosh. She was out there learning stuff, growing, her relationship with God, and all those things have shaped who I am today. I do not have any regrets for sure, but I definitely know that there's certain things that I would have probably done differently. The biggest realization about who I am in my early 20s was that I am nothing without God. I could define myself in all of the splendid ways. I could use all the words. I could use everything you can think of, but I'm nothing without God. My whole existence is nothing without God, because He's the one who gives me breath. He's the one who made me. My entire purpose is tied to Him. Realizing that in my early 20s, and I'm gonna say I probably realized that a little earlier than my 20s, has shaped everything I think about myself. It's what I think about myself aligning to what God says about me. Who does He say I am? How do I fit into this world that He created? How do I understand why I'm on this earth? His purpose for me. And so that has really influenced a lot of the decisions I've made. That has influenced also the person I am now, and it's going to continue influencing who I become in my 30s and moving forward, because I just simply believe there's no me without God. And so the whole premise of who Petali is around why God made her and what He made her for. The faster and the sooner I learned to accept myself, the more chances I gave myself to discover who I am and to utilize my potential. I'm not going to say that there's a button that was just turned on and then I, became so comfortable in myself. I would say it's a journey, and I'm going to say that everything in your life can become a journey. You can decide today I'm going to start making this decision, or I'm going to start doing things differently, and that becomes a journey. It doesn't always have to be, when you're doing this huge thing like doing your master's degree. Any part of your life that you want to change can become a journey. So I'm also inviting you to just find your own journey in life and keep growing, because there's no end to growing. Honestly, I'm here thinking, I learned so much in my early 20s, but I know once I hit 40, I'm probably going to be saying I learned so much in my 30s, and that's the beauty of life. There's so much to look forward to. There's so much to continue learning and growing in, and that's what I'm about. I'm about learning about myself. I'm about growing. I'm about just becoming a better version of myself. So let's go back to the point about just being comfortable in my own skin and who I am. In my teens, I think we all go through this phase where we just think we're ugly. We just think our bodies are just, oh my god. I had a whole thing in my teens where I thought I looked like a boy. I was probably adopted in my family because I just felt like my older sisters were so pretty, and I was just there looking like a potato. Like there was nothing I liked about myself. I was also such a tomboy. uh, I did not have any style, any fashion skills, any dress up skills. I had none of that. I know it sounds insane, but it's true, guys. I don't know. I think the Lord just touched me at some point in my life, and then pew, I became so feminine, and I'm still becoming. And I'm comfortable in who I am now. I've been born again since I was 14, so that has shaped a lot in my life, in many phases of my life. So even in just being comfortable with myself, I'm gonna say scripture and just being around people who also have a relationship with God really helped to make me realize that there's things that I will never change about myself. For example, I know I have a big nose. I'm never gonna change that about myself, and God made me. So if I'm looking down on myself, I'm also telling God, hey, I don't like this things you gave me, and I get it. I get it. Sometimes as women, we have those moments we want to be like so and so. We want to have this body, and we are killing ourselves in the gym doing those squats and bigging our backs and just doing all these things because we want to feel more confident in ourselves. But in my early 20s, I just learned these things I will never change about myself. If I do not have nyash, I do not have it. I know you can go to the gym and you can do all these things and get nyash, but if it's not there, it's fine. And the way that God made our bodies just fits perfectly. You know what I'm saying? I know this is so relative. This is such a huge debate, but I'm saying all this just to say being comfortable first in who God made you is so important. So I'm glad in my early 20s I was around people who are also confident in themselves. I didn't start using makeup until probably when I was 23, 24, 25, and now it's a big part of my life as a makeup artist. But do I depend on makeup to feel good about myself or to feel like I can contribute to the world? I don't think so. There's days that I go to places without makeup and I'm still fine, and if I do it, it's because I want to do it, because I love to do it, because I have the time and I have all these brushes and stuff that I'm just not gonna not use them. And I believe it's also a talent that God has given me, so that's the only reason why I continue to do makeup. But even if someone was to take that from me, I don't think they would definitely take a big part of me, but I don't think I would not be able to find myself still without the makeup. The aspect that really shaped my identity in my 20s, and I'm gonna say I'm still learning this until now, is just saying no without shame or without guilt. This deserves a whole video on its own, because saying no is one of those things that if you never grew up around people that said no, or just in an environment that allowed you to say no, or maybe no one taught you how to say no and things like that, when you're older you realize that, oh, this really is something. Have you met those people who would just say no to your face and not feel bothered? That's the kind of person I am trying to be like in my 30s. Sorry, I'm busy, but that busy just means I want to be in my house, And I know there's also just a balance, because you just don't say no to everything, but you kind of have to prioritize yourself and your needs. So I learned this the hard way, and mostly through entrepreneurship, because I started to do professional makeup in my mid-20s. Yeah, and I'm a big makeup artist, you guys. I'm not just saying small makeup, okay? Just putting it out there for those in the back. This was me transitioning my makeup from a hobby to actually something that's gonna pay me. I don't think I had a mentor at that time, because I just felt like all the people I had interacted with so far, those kind of like, yeah, I have my own clients, so like to get a mentor was honestly tough for me when I was starting out as a makeup artist. So I didn't know so much. I had to figure a lot of things by myself. So I'm a self-taught mower, saying it for the people in the back. So I had to learn on my own a lot of things, especially dealing with clients. And when you're starting out your business, sometimes you don't have the choice to like say no to clients, because you need that money. You need to reinvest in your business. You need a good makeup kit. Everyone has this trolley that you do not have yet, and you want to get that trolley. There's just all these things that you see yourself becoming, and also to attract the clients that you want, your ideal clients. So you kind of want to take all these jobs so you can pivot upwards. And you're also the content creator, you're the accountant of your business, you're literally doing all those things. So starting out, I didn't think I had a choice to say no to some clients, which I wish I would have said. But I'm glad that I gave myself to the whole process, so that I could learn, so that I could grow. So sometimes you come across very entitled clients who, just because they're paying you $2,500 to do their makeup, and you've traveled, I don't even know why I wasn't charging for transport. And I've gone through almost like 4 matatus to get to this client, and they feel like because they're paying you $2,500, they can walk over you, they can say stuff about you. They don't even know you have a degree. And they want to sound so entitled to your skill and to your work, and they're asking. I mean, I get it when a client is concerned about what products you're using. I would also not let you touch my face with just any products and without clean brushes. That's a no-no. But the way you say it, just saying it in a kind way, not making someone feel like all the work they've put to grow their business is nothing, like that kind of attitude. I also got that. So I had to really learn how to be calm on the job and just reassure clients and say, yes, my brushes are clean, these are the products. I didn't have the most fancy kit, or I didn't have like all the MAC or NAS products. I for sure used a lot of Maybelline just because it was affordable for me. And also the consistency and the Maybelline products were actually really good, So I've come to learn also as a makeup artist, sometimes it's really not about the products. I've tried like really high-end foundations, and I've gone back to like some drugstore brands just because sometimes it's just the name and it's just the price tag. The most important thing is the skill. You could have the most expensive makeup, but if you don't have the skill, then all those products are as good as nothing. So I had to just learn to help my clients see that, hey, it's not really about how expensive the products I carry in my kit are, but it's about the skill. Just give me a chance, let me show you what I can do. And for sure, most times my clients would be very impressed after, and that's why they would refer me again and again. But that initial interaction was almost always like kind of like, I remember this one time, I think it was probably my first or second or third wedding thereabout, and I did makeup on this bridesmaid. She was my friend, and the sister is my friend too, and the mom just grabbed her hand and brought her into the room, and she was like, this is not my daughter, she doesn't look like my daughter at all. This was the first person in the lineup for all the bridesmaids and the bride, and that's the feedback I had gotten. So as a young girl, just happy that I got this gig, I was feeling like oh my god, what am I gonna do? This is actually what I said. I just said, it's fine, we can do this again. So I just told my friend, okay, so now I'm just gonna do this step by step, and I need you to just tell me if I do the brows and you don't like them, let me know. We'll work on that as we keep going. Long story short, I ended up doing all the girls and the bride too, and they loved their makeup. And the mom actually came back and said, now I like this. Although I didn't feel like I changed so much, but sometimes you just have to like manage your clients. Being in that industry has really helped me to take criticism in a positive way and kind of like deflate in a way that's not shrinking me, but that's also telling a client, hey, you can't come at me like that. Like, okay, I understand maybe this brow is not the same as this, but that's why I'm here, for you to just tell me, hey, I do not like this. So the way I kind of like to do my makeup now with my clients, if I feel like, if I ask a client, do you give me permission to just do my thing, or are you conscious about the whole process? Do you want us to do this step by step? And then if it's a client that wants us to just do step by step, I do not mind at all. I will not get offended if you tell me, can we make this brow thinner? Because at the end of the day, this industry is about referrals. So if I'm not going to get a good referral from you, that means I'm not going to be in business, So I appreciate clients who are honest and respectful. I don't even know where I was going with this, but I guess we're talking about saying no, and sometimes you'll get a client wanting to bargain and they leave the other side of town, so they want to pay you what's just going to be enough for an Uber. Sometimes I said no, sometimes I sadly did not say no, and don't judge me guys, I've learned a lot from that process. As I prepare for my 30s, I'm gonna say no unapologetically. The thing that you also learn as an entrepreneur, you just know when a client is gonna disturb you and never pay for your service, or they're never gonna book with. There's just an instinct that you develop as an entrepreneur, and you know that this client is gonna end up booking or not. There's a lot of things in regards to friendships, relationships in my 20s that I did, and one of those things is just building solid girl friendship, or let me call them sisterhood friendships, because a lot of my friends in my 20s have been people I knew way before I was in my 20s. Okay, my best friend, for instance, I've known her since we were 14, so we're counting 15 solid years of friendship, and it's just the beginning. And then I also knew a lot of people around that time from high school, and some of those people are still my closest friends until now. I don't want to mention all of their names. I spent a lot of times with these same people, building our friendships, getting mad at each other. I literally have a group of my friends that we kind of separated, and then we kind of came back together again, just because life has ups and downs and a lot of things were involved. But I'm so glad that we found a way to make things work, because this had been a friendship of like over 8 years. So it's not something that you just like throw out of the window, and most times it's the misunderstandings that make people grow apart. So I'm glad that me and my friends had a chance to just sit and like talk things out. That's what I was doing in my 20s, building friendships. I have lots of friends who are older than me. I've done things, been in seasons I haven't been in before, so they've been able to like provide guidance. I also have mentors. This one lady who I did her makeup, just randomly, she knew that I volunteered to do makeup for this event that was about these women who are waiting and have been waiting on God for children. So they were doing something and they needed a makeup artist to volunteer. So I volunteered, and then this client of mine knew me from that circle. So she became my client for literally until now. Like I'm in a different country, but she calls me, she texts me, she's asking when I'm graduating. She's literally like another big sister. Let me tell you, I would go to her place to just do her eyebrows, and she would literally pay me like I did a whole full face bit. If she calls me at 8 a.m., I'm there by 7:30, because it's so nice when you don't have to make a client see that they're paying you for your worth. She's one of my green flag clients. Any day, any time. Even if she called me at like 12 a.m., my husband would drive me there. Because I literally tell him everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything. He's like my teammate. Just taking the time to build those friendships is something I'm grateful for. Now, if I get new friends, well and good. If I do not, I'm not short of anything, because I believe all the solid friendships I've built in my 20s are definitely going to serve me in my 30s, and I will definitely also be there for my friends. Red flags. Let's see. I probably would say, as far as red flags are concerned, let me just tell you guys, I didn't date a lot in my 20s. I think just having a relationship with God earlier in my life, I knew that if I was gonna date someone, it was gonna be for marriage. So I did know a couple of guys. Do we want to get into that? I don't think so. I did know a couple of guys, but just somehow it never became anything solid. Plus, I was also really looking at someone who has a solid relationship with God. Like, that was a quality I was not willing to compromise on at all. I cannot say that I dated a lot. Honestly, I did have a boyfriend in like high school. Oh, if my mom sees this, I'm dead. And then when I got born again, I just felt like this wasn't right. So I just told him. Of course, it didn't didn't rub off well on him, but I had to say what I said. And then after that, I didn't date anyone until I met my husband. So not too many stories there, but not to say that we've also not had our own share of like growing as individuals in our marriage. The thing I've really learned is speaking up for my needs, because somehow I think growing up in the church, we never like have conversations about expressing your needs, how different we are as men and as women in marriage. Like, coming to live with someone is not the same as just going on dates and then everyone's going home after. It's so different. So now we got married and now we're living together, and so we have to learn how to make it work. So we've learned a lot about communicating, and one thing that I've learned personally is just communicating my needs, and telling my husband, hey babe, I need this, or I would appreciate this. That's something I didn't come into marriage knowing how to do. I'll just be like, oh, I think my husband will know I need this, or I need help here, or and vice versa. There are all these expectations that we have. We did go through marital counseling, which I would totally recommend any couple to like go for before they get married. So we did have those classes. Now you have to take all that knowledge and practice it, which is a whole other story. But nonetheless, I've learned that about myself. So now I can just be like, babe, I need this, or could you do this for me? And I appreciate that he's always listening, and he's always like meeting me where I'm at. Last thing I'm gonna say in this section is just choosing my battle. Sometimes it doesn't need your energy. Sometimes you don't need to say anything. The power of silence, that's something I've just learned. Like, when someone comes at you like this, like they wanna just you come at them from here, then they'll come down. But most times if you come, then this person's gonna go higher, and then you're gonna go higher, and then before you know it, you are angry with each other. You say things to each other that you can never take back. So I just learned to choose my battles. Like, is this thing worth me fighting for? Is this relationship worth me fighting for? Is this friendship worth me fighting for? If not, then trust your instinct. Trust that still voice that's telling you, hey, I think you need to turn a different direction. I have said too much already. I was hoping I could do all of this in just one video. So I'm gonna have to do a part 2 of this series, what my 20s has taught me. So be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notified when I post the part 2 of this video, okay? Do not touch that dial.